else. Welcome and welcome back to Beautiful Daughters 99. The verses that I have for this one are from Genesis 1:26 through 27 from the ESV and Isaiah 64:8 from the NIV. So, Genesis. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. And from Isaiah, "Yet you, Lord, are our Father. We are the clay, you are the potter. We are all the work of your hand." So the basic rundown of these verses are, we're all created in the image of God. We're all the work of his hand. So we're all humans, and we've all been created in this image, in the image of God. And going back into the last episode, although we are all the same species, we are all humans, and we are all created in the image of God, he has also uniquely designed each and every one of us in different traits and how our body structures were made and different characteristics that we have. And so we are all unified in being created in God, and we are unified in the fact that we're all unique, but we are all still separately unique. Something in body image that a lot of us get into, and that we sometimes or even oftentimes struggle with, is comparison. And we compare ourselves to others and all sorts of things. And if you are complimenting someone about like how they did their hair or what they're wearing, like, it's fine and good and well to compliment people and to lift each other up with our words. But sometimes that can be a bit deeper than on the outside, just telling someone something nice about them. There are things that you might be thinking about, I wish I could do my hair like them, or I wish that I had the same clothes as them, and different things like that. And it goes even deeper when you think about other people. I wish I was as tall as her, or I wish this and that, and over again, just comparing yourself to people comparing yourself to models, to people in the movies, and just random people you see on the street that you don't even know and will never talk to. And you just continually go down comparing yourselves to others, and it's not in the way that you're comparing yourself. You're like, oh, I'm like this and this person is like this, but you're comparing yourself like, this person is prettier and better than me in these ways, and you're lowering yourself down to a level where you're not good enough, and where you don't believe in yourself, and you don't feel like you are a beautiful daughter of God, which you are a beautiful daughter of God, but you continually compare other people, other beautiful daughters of God, to yourself, and you think of them as more beautiful. And they also are beautiful, but you as well are beautiful, and you're all created in that same image, and you are both created equally in that image, and you are created separately, uniquely, and there is reason for that. And comparing yourself to someone else is a little bit faulty too, because that person that you're comparing yourself to might be comparing themselves to you, and that actually happens quite a lot. Well, you sit there thinking and wishing about something you had, or a way that you look that you wish you could change about yourself to be more like somebody else, that person might be somewhere else sitting and thinking about the same things about you, or about another person that you know, or about somebody else that you see on the street or in movies or magazines. And everybody is comparing themselves to everybody else. And so really, in turn, we're all complimenting each other about how beautiful and pretty you are. And then everybody is doing that to the other person, who keeps thinking of themselves lower down and not pretty, when somebody else is complimenting them about how pretty they are. And so it just goes back and forth in this circle. And it becomes sort of this game where you just keep on comparing yourselves, and those people keep comparing themselves over and over and over and over again. And the cycle just continues. And the more important thing is that we all are beautiful. And while there may be reasons that we're comparing ourselves to others, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to others, because God created us the way that He wanted to create us, and has created us all in His image, and has created us individually and uniquely. And we should love the way that He created us, because He loves the way that He created us. But in that, when you stop comparing yourself to others, you can still compliment other people and build each other up while they also continue to build you up. And we can have this moreover understanding of, you're pretty and I'm pretty and we're all beautiful daughters of God. And we can just continually lift each other up, instead of secretly lifting someone else up when you're both putting yourselves down. You can see how the comparison game gets really wild. And yeah. And I have found myself comparing me to other people. I mean, not maybe so frequently, but I mean, I do it sometimes. And I try not to, and I myself try to remember these things that I've just said to you. It's just really important to understand that we need to build each other up in community and unity and strengthen one another. And, yeah. Within the comparison game, sometimes we wish and think about looking like someone we know or somebody we don't know, that we go further and further into it, and we suddenly find ourselves doing things to look and act like those people. And in some instances, that can be good, because we can have mentors and people who can teach us and show us to become better people. But in the case of this comparison, we generally tend to not necessarily look at that. But no matter who a person is or what they're doing, we're like, I want to be like that. And so we start losing ourselves and losing our uniqueness and trying to become exactly like someone else that we're not. And we shouldn't be trying to do that, because God created us for a reason, and He created us for a purpose. And we're not meant to be that other person. We're meant to be who you are and who God created you as. And that person is meant to be who they are and who God has created them as. And we should not be so comparing ourselves that we start to turn into other people and don't even know who we are or who God has created us as. And it's okay to not exactly know who God created us as, trying to figure out what we're supposed to do in life and all that. And I mean, that takes a lot of time. But we should not be, instead of trying to figure out who God has created us to be, we should not be going and trying to be somebody else that God created them to be. What we should be doing is looking and seeing what God has in store for us, and in turn, what that can do to help other people and lift them up, and even go to help them figure out who God has created them to be, and all be building each other up in those ways. Alright, that's pretty much all I have for today. You can always contact me at my email, beautifuldaughters99@gmail.com, and you can check out my Instagram, beautifuldaughters99, and you can comment and like and subscribe and share and all that fun stuff. And I hope to see you in another one fairly soon. And yeah, just keep in mind, going through this episode and also the last episode, that we are uniquely created, and we yet are all created in the same image, and we should strive to be who God has created us to be, and lift one another up and help them in turn to be who God has created them to be. So that's it, and goodbye.